Hello everyone, Gilbert here. Welcome to Red Dragon Model Works. Well, it's October. Um, as you all know, we at the Styrene Syndicate, we're hosting a Halloween horror group build right here. Styrene Syndicate Horror Halloween group build. And it runs up until, of course, Halloween. You can do anything, enter anything as long as it's a Halloween theme or horror themed. Could be a car, plane, figure, sci-fi, doesn't matter as long as it's horror themed. And so far we got some really cool entries in there. I'm having a lot of fun doing it. So I encourage you all to go right here, the Styrene Syndicate Google Plus page. Upload your photos there so we can all see it, or you can check out right here the Styrene Syndicate Facebook page and see what people are posting up there also. There's been a little news, as far as the Styrene Syndicate is concerned. Steve, Cloverleaf Studios, has decided, because of health reasons, that he is going to step back and no longer be a part of the actual project. We're going to miss him. He was a big part of it. He was one of the founders, along with myself and Phil. And it's he'll be missed. He really will be missed. But we wish him well. But we'll continue on. So if you guys have not already wished him well, you can check it out on of course, the Google Plus page here. Wish him well, or the Facebook page, and wish him well. As I said, he'll be sorely missed. But Wayne, myself, and I believe Phil will keep moving on, and in the spirit of why we did this to begin with. So that being said, I wanted to give an update on my entry into Steve Sutton's, right here, Steve Sutton's SMKR Scale Model Kit Reviews Old School Star Wars build. Now, those of you that have been following it on Facebook know that kit has driven me nuts. It's not a hard kit to do. It's basically, I think, 7-8 pieces that you put together. But the fit is just horrendous. It's an old kit, heavy plastic, and when you in my case, a couple of the pieces were warped, and then the warm water, hot water treatment, it helped immensely. But the fit issues on it, the seam lines, it was just bad. Again, you got to take into account it's an AMT kit, so an older AMT kit at that. So, but I'll show you guys that in a second here. Also, I'll show you a purchase I picked up. I picked up that AK Interactive, that Daniel, what's his name? Daniel Zamarbad, his FAQ book, and I'll show you guys that in a second also after this here. But there's a few other things, but I have another video coming up with a review of some more of those Rubicon models. I have the Stewart, the KFZ SD KFZ 171, the Panther Offs G, and what's this other one? The Tiger Offs E, SD KFZ 181. So those and some stowage. But I'll have those in a separate review. So if you stick around here a second, we'll get to I'll show you guys what I've did with the AMT's Trade Federation ship, and see you guys in a bit. Right back. All right, everyone. I just want to give you a quick update on my build for Steve Sutton SMKR Scale Model Kit Reviews Old School Star Wars build. As you know, this is the Trade Federation tank, AMT's Trade Federation tank. And as you can see, it's sitting in primer now. The build is done. I almost forgot these little antennas. Thank you, Brian, Atomic Dog. I showed it to him the other day, and he says, "Hey, did you forget those antennas?" And I said, "What antennas?" Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that, because I forgot all about them. But if you've been following this on the Facebook page, you know that I had a heck of a time getting rid of the seam that these two are these two halves. There was a really bad seam, and I had a heck of a time. And you could still see a little bit of it, but not much. The same with the seam. These two halves slipped together, and I had a heck of a time getting rid of that seam right here. But it's about as good as I'm gonna get it, so I'm not really worried about it now. Once I hit this in primer and I sanded it down about two or three more times with Aves epoxy sculpt and whatnot, but I can still see a little seam line right there. So what I think I'm going to do is, you see how you have this line right here, and you got the bolt details. I'm going to take a piece of strip styrene or round stock, stick it in here like so, to give it an illusion like there's a plate there, these two plates, and then run these bolt details all the way up, and that way I can hide that seam. And I might do the same back here, because this is another seam that's just pretty bad. Now this is a great kit, fairly easy to build, but man, it's just it doesn't fit right, and the seams are just the gaps in here are really bad. I got rid of it here for the most part, but right here I'm going to hit this again with primer, and then I'll be able to go back and take a look at that. If that seam is still showing, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to incorporate that seam, but I'm going to put bolt details, little bolt heads right there, so it looks like these two plates are matched up, and that's where that seam's at. So when all else fails, do what you got to do. Same thing here. This I couldn't get it to match up. I sanded it and sanded it and sanded it, and before, if I would have taken any more down, I would have been into the door thing. So I'm going to take a piece, like a little piece like this here, and then glue it right inside here to cover that gap right in here. But there it is. For the most part, it's done. It's just a little bit of few odds and ends. Now the other thing that I'm going over is the paint detail. Now everybody paints this for the most part in the brown and the tans, and I think I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to do a variation of it. I might, like here, you have it'll be the two-tone, of course, but I think as it starts to come up here, I was going to go one of two things: either a tiger stripe, a brown tiger stripes, or like a dark brown tiger stripe coming up here, camel scheme. And then here, different metallic colors. I was thinking either steel, and then take like the steel here also, and then right here like an aluminum, and then or steel, and then put like a little burnt umber wash over that to darken it. So like a two-tone steel here. All these raised details like here, I want to, they'll be all weathered up and stuff, so you'll be able to see the metal underneath it. So I think the base coat for this is going to be, I think I'll buy, they got All-Clad in a can, and I think I'll get a can of All-Clad and then shoot the whole thing in All-Clad, let it sit, put a coat of matte or the aqua gloss over it, let it sit, and then start working on top of that. That way, when I go to start doing all the chipping, I have the base of the steel down at the bottom, because I want to chip it up pretty good, like in the corners and stuff like that there. I also, like all these parts, all the little rivet details, all that, I want you to be able to see that, in metals. I want to do this a little different. I might even just paint this black, just a gloss black with red highlights, So we'll see. So there she is, Steve. I should have that done soon. But for now, I think I'm going to let it sit for about a week or so and then get to some of the figures I'm doing now. I'm starting to paint a couple of things for the Halloween build, this being one of them right here. And I need to go in and start layering. That's the base coat, and I need to go in and start layering different colors in there to bring that out. And I want to have her with them. So I put her base coat down, so now I'm going to start doing the fleshy tone. Now I want to try something different, and then use this as the basis, so when I start layering in her flesh, you'll be able to see that as the shadows. So yeah, got that. So here it is. We'll be back in a second. So there you have it. again, as I said with that Trade Federation ship, it's a fairly easy kit to build. There's not a lot of parts to it. It's got some nice lines to it, and I really dig the shape of it. Problem being, though, if you're trying to build a decent kit out of that, you're going to do a lot of sanding, cutting, filling, pasting, waxing, you name it, to fill some of those seam lines or to make them disappear. Those of you that have followed that on Facebook, I posted a couple of videos of me just scrubbing away at those. And I used, at first I tried to use regular putty, didn't work. I had used I mixed up some sprue glue, sprue putty, and when I closed it all up, I used that in between and then closed it up so it'll seep through it. And it seemed to work okay, but we all know with seam lines, once you hit it with some paint, you take a good look at it. So I ended up using Bondo and in the end some epoxy sculpt on some of the parts. I didn't use a lot of epoxy sculpt because I figured, you know what, I got to that point where I was getting pretty frustrated with it. So, but anyway, there it is. I'm going to sit it off to the side for now because, it aggravated the bejesus out of me. So, and I'll get to the paint job later. I've got a couple of ideas. Either do it all black like a Vader type of thing with the Empire symbol on there, or with the camo scheme, the different camo schemes, either just a regular camo scheme, either that, a digital, because they're droids, maybe a tiger scheme, or we'll see. I don't know yet, but I got time for that. The other thing I wanted to show you guys is that I had picked up this book here. Got this from M&M Models, right here, M&M Models, and you can contact them here. They're local here. They're in the Chicagoland area. I'll have a link down below. And the people there, it's a small shop, and it's been around a while. But these people here are, it kind of makes you want to go into this shop. They're very nice, sweet people. They'll bend over backwards to help you. It's one of those places where you go in and they recognize you. They know your name after the first time. And it was a pleasure to go in there. And like I told the lady that runs the place, her and her husband, I said to her, you have a customer as long as you're in business. So that's how much I enjoyed the experience. But I had explained to her that I was looking for this book and I was going to get it online. But she ordered it for me. And a couple of days later, I had it. I paid the same thing as I would have paid online for it. So it is what it is. It's not a cheap book. You can get this anywhere from $80 to, I've seen it as high as $100. But it usually ranges about $86. And the book itself is all about weathering up airplanes. It's a great book. At the risk of showing you, I don't want to show you too much because I don't want to run into copyright infringements and all that other stuff. But it gives you some really, really nice techniques and helps you hone the ones you did have and even the ones that you didn't have. It just, I'll show you a little bit here. It gets into, like, say you want to do propellers. Where did I do with it? I had it right here. And it shows you a really nice way to weather them up, because propellers are, I've seen many of them done, and people that do them, sometimes they overdo them. But if you look there, sorry about the glare, guys, but it gives you a couple of, ways to do it. I'll show you one more page at the risk of, running into copyright. And then you have, the products that the guy uses and et cetera, et cetera. Now, it doesn't only have MIG products. He shows you everything he uses. Everything from Tamiya, MIG, Vallejo. So it's not just an AK product. I'm sorry, an AK, well, at the time it was MIG. It's not just an AK product because he uses just about everything. Microscale, MIG, rocket plastic glue. He uses just Formula 500. I mean, milliput, everything. Everything you can think of, the guy uses. So if you're in the aircraft, this is an essential. But it's not only for aircraft, guys. You can use this to hone your chipping techniques, your weathering techniques. I mean, it crosses over and everything. So if you can and you have the means, I would encourage you guys to pick this up. I hope your week end was well. Like I said, it's the beginning of the week. It's Tuesday right now, so remember that we have the Styrene Syndicate show coming up Saturday. I encourage you all to watch it. Wayne, myself, and Phil, we enjoy doing it. So we'll see. People have asked me, what are you guys going to do? I'm still going to run it. I mean, there were 4 of us. Now there are 3. So, again, we wish him well, but the band must play on. So, again, I will have a sometime either Thursday or Friday another review of some Rubicon models. If you guys like those, I encourage you to watch it. They're really nice kits, guys. They really are. So, don't forget, we have the... I'm sorry, Roadhog, Cliff, right here. Roadhog. He's got his cancer awareness build. It's for a good cause. It's the 2nd year he's done it. So, I encourage you all to check him out right here. Roadhog, 0-rated. And if you can, it doesn't have to be a car, guys. It can be anything. And he does it for cancer awareness. I still have to figure out what I'm going to do for mine, but I'm going to get into that also. So, I don't want to make this too long. It's already running a little longer than I wanted. You all have a great week. Enjoy the hobby. Leave the drama to the queens. Remember, if you make good friends, make good brothers, leave the false ones to the side. You don't need that kind of nonsense. Remember, it's just a hobby, enjoy it, have fun while you're doing it. And if you can, encourage one of the younger ones to get into it. With that, I leave you guys. I wish you well. I bid you peace. Build a damn model, brothers. We'll see you guys Saturday.